Welcome, y'all.
Hey, Sherri.
Hey, Tammy. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I am doing really good. How are you?
Really good?
Yeah.
Good. You want to share why? You're like a little kid, like rubbing their hands together, smiling.
Oh, no. It's been a wild summer so far.
It's not even summer yet.
It is here. It's 95.
You're right.
It's summer.
You're right.
It's pool time, fishing time, nothing but cookouts, barbecues.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
We have 2 new Patreon members.
Oh, yay.
And I'm scrolling through my phone. Dave.
Okay.
I wonder if that's your Dave.
I wonder.
And, oh, no, this Dave, maybe, no. Okay, Dave, I'm not going to say your last name, but I don't think it's your, and Chris.
If that Dave's last name could be gross, then it's my Dave. He loves to make up those like.
No, it wasn't. Chris and Dave. I don't know if Chris is a guy or a girl. Doesn't matter. Either way, I'm assuming Dave's a guy. Thank y'all, new Patreon members. We appreciate y'all.
And welcome, y'all.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. I think next show will be the one where Christina comes back. I know she's brought a lot of new listeners to the show. So
yes, she has.
We're
and
happy
thank
to,
you, Christina.
Yeah,
for
we're
that.
happy to have her back. And Chan, camera switching. Thank you, buddy. He will be here through the summer.
Yay.
Yeah. Home for the summer. Okay. You got a story?
I do have a story, but I wanted to talk about another podcast I picked up this week. Well, since I've been here.
Tell me.
Okay. I cannot believe I haven't heard of this. It's called Small Town Dicks. All right. Right there. Joke in the title.
I've heard it. I've heard of that one. Yes. Small Town Dicks.
Lisa Simpson has a frickin' podcast.
Did she do it in her voice? Lisa Simpson voice?
Well, the Lisa Simpson voice
is her
Yardley's voice.
Oh, I didn't realize that was her regular voice.
And Yardley married a cop.
Oh my gosh.
Who was a twin, who was also a cop. And as they were wrapping up their careers, they went into this. It's actually a pretty good podcast. It's not funny like ours.
Yeah.
But it's also not arrogant like sometimes we'll see.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand that.
I mean, it's got little moments of humor because it's kind of a family chat. And
right.
Families are funny.
Well, it kind of has to be a little funny if Lisa Simpson's voice is on it.
I know. How awesome is that? Why I didn't. And I listen and I mean, I keep an earbud in probably 5 hours a day.
Yeah.
That's a lot of content. And I just came across.
And you just found it?
Yeah.
Well, y'all go check out Small Town Dicks.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be advertising Grits with a Side of Murder on a podcast called 80s TV Ladies.
Ooh.
Have you heard of them?
No. Wait, yes, I have. Yes, I have.
They talk about 80s sitcoms and TV shows and strong female characters and stuff like that. So
yeah, I kind of moved through over to them from one to the other until.
That's cool.
Yeah, I haven't subscribed to them, but I've listened to a little here and there.
I do have some funny. Well, these are weird laws in the U.S. that you won't believe.
Okay.
That I found at thelawyerportal.com. So at the end, we will have something kind of funny. Yes.
Okay.
All right. Tell me a story.
Okay. This one is a little different than what we normally do. It has not been entirely adjudicated.
Okay.
But I don't think there's any question. I mean,
who did it? Well, we kind of have those sometimes where they're like, it's technically not solved, but we know who did it.
Oh, no, it's solved.
Okay.
It is solved. It is recent. And I had to hit this when I saw this news article.
Tell me.
Okay. So Kristil Grimsrud was born just a few days before Thanksgiving in 1980. She was a smart, gifted kid. She did, okay, and it was the time. She did modern interpretive dance.
Okay. I think, what do they call that today? Contemporary dance or something?
I don't know, but, fame was big.
Yes.
So,
I remember that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not as weird as it sounds.
No. And
she was a little bit of a dork. She was a very science-focused person.
Oh, okay. Arts and
sciences.
Yeah.
Both sides. I kind of get it.
Got it. That's right.
Okay, so she went to college on a scholarship and got a degree in biochemical engineering.
Wow.
Okay.
Super smart.
Super smart. Okay. And whenever she was in college, she had had a relationship with this guy named Jeff Sonderling.
Okay, I'm
From
gonna write that down.
1999 to 2000.
All right.
Yeah, intense relationship.
But it's short.
But it was short because it was college.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, your lives are going different places.
You're finding yourself in college.
Yeah.
Are you finding yourself, Chandler, in college? He's shaking his head. Yes.
I think he is. I think he is. So Kristil became incredibly successful. I mean, a biochemical engineering degree is out of the gate.
Yeah.
You don't even have to be a good student. If you can get through the program, you're making 85, 90 out of school.
Mm-hmm.
It is a tough field. She went to work with Agilent Technologies. And this company makes like most of the things in your lab. Whenever you go get blood drawn, whenever you're at a testing facility for even more of your
When you say they make the things in the lab, you mean like the machines to do the testing?
the machines, test strips,
Okay.
collection devices.
Gotcha.
I mean, they
Make all of it.
like you build a building and then call them and they do
Put
the rest.
everything. I gotcha. Okay.
Okay. So, I mean, yeah, so the reading equipment, the testing, all of that. And she gets married to this guy named Daniel Krug, who is a financial analyst and has 3 kids.
Ooh.
Okay. He doesn't. They do. They have 3 kids.
Oh, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, she's taking on a lot.
Yeah, no, they have 3 kids. So they're like living the dream. They get a nice house.
Good
and,
jobs, white picket fence,
Oh,
3
yeah.
kids, a dog, everything.
And between the 2 of them, I got to figure their annual because of where they were. And this is the time, I got to figure they were making probably 250 to 300K a
In the
year.
early 2000s.
Well, by now we're now.
Oh, we're now. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
I
Where was this again?
Broomfield, Colorado.
Colorado. Okay.
They could have been making way more, but that's a conservative estimate is that these people were pulling in $250,000 and then some
Yeah.
a year.
Nice.
Okay. And so I'm not sure which house was hers because I did a little Google Street View, but some of it was blocked out because you know me. But her neighborhood was the homes ran right at about $1 million.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Nice places, 2 stories. Think John Benet Ramsey, her parents' house.
Yeah.
Very much the same kind of look.
Gotcha.
Broomfield is kind of in the Denver metropolitan area.
Okay.
And buildable land, when you get in those mountainous areas, it's rare.
Right.
And so I even ran across in their town a 900 square foot trailer that was like a 1978 mobile home.
Nice. That's like what I lived in my first house I bought.
Yeah, it's very, very tiny.
Yes.
It was 1 bedroom, 1 bath on a lot in a trailer park.
And how much was that?
$75,000
To buy it?
to buy it.
Wow.
Yeah. Here, you would have to pay somebody
To take that.
to take that away.
Yeah.
You'd have to pay a $6,000 towing fee.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I'll pay you to take it away and I'll mow your grass for you even after you buy it.
Yeah. I mean, because that's the kind of thing here we live in when we buy the property and
Yeah.
we want to live on it while
And
we're
we
building.
think we're going to build one day, or maybe we do build one day.
And then you still got that nasty ass trailer. Oh.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, so even a very small yard is expensive.
and they've got this big house, probably a big yard, picturesque.
Not
great.
too big a yard.
Okay.
I mean, not what we would call. I imagine like if you were in New York or Philly, you'd call it a big yard.
Yeah.
But here we would be like,
It's a courtyard.
that's farting distance.
Yeah.
To my neighbors.
Yeah.
I could live without that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Tammy and I both have like multiple lots stuck together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
We
We
need
don't-
space.
we need space.
I don't need my neighbors hearing me yelling at my kids in the backyard as well.
Mhm. And then I have a husband who will go out dressed in some stuff that I'm ashamed.
No, I do not let Harold do that.
Oh,
And I will not let him take his shirt off while he's mowing. I'm like, that's inappropriate. Don't do that.
we have fewer neighbors than y'all do.
Oh, yeah.
And one day not that long ago, Dave was mowing without his shirt on. And some girls came by in a car and woot-wooted at him. And he was like, I still got it. And then a car full of guys came by and woot-wooted at him. He hasn't been without his shirt on in the front yard since.
It just takes one little lesson. And
Yeah, and I didn't even have to be the bad guy.
No, you didn't.
Okay, so over the years, old Jeff emails Kristil ever so often.
So they're still going, hey, how you doing?
Actually, he's kind of emailing her booty calls.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Does he live nearby? Like, I know they went to college together.
They went to college together.
So do they still kind of stay in the same area?
Well, I think they were for part of this time. And by this kind of the same area, they went to college in Boulder. And they live in Denver.
They had an attraction, it sounds like. That was...
Well, she just kept ignoring him. Because,
oh, okay. Good for her.
yeah, she's married. She's got kids. She's got a happy life. She doesn't
want
need...
to screw that up.
Yeah. And so he'd email her these kind of raunchy emails. He would go in the delete folder. Done. A couple of years go by, he'd do it again. But, internet kind of made people like that.
Yeah. People are still kind of like that, I think.
Yeah, but we didn't see that so much like
back then.
Pre-internet.
No, you're right. No.
But now they can kind of Facebook stalk you whenever they're having those
weak moments.
Those lonely moments in the middle of the night after half a bottle of whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's aggravating, but it's not that big of an issue.
Did she tell her husband about it?
Yeah.
Okay. So he knew.
He knew. No big deal. And that was until the fall of 2023. So we're just talking a minute ago.
Mm-hmm. Not even a year.
No. Okay, so this douche canoe starts sending her some really explicit emails.
Dick pics and shit?
Just what he's going to do to her.
What?
Yeah. And she doesn't respond, and she figures that this will be just like every other time. It'll just go away. And it doesn't stop. They get worse. It starts to get...
does it get more frequent and more graphic?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It starts to get with lewd references on how he is the one that really knows how to satisfy her, and that she needs to leave her husband for him. That's pretty rough.
That is rough.
And we're talking...
He's probably saying stuff like, I'm going to tie you up and horrible things I'm not even going to say.
Yeah, and then they started to include photos of her and her husband out and about. Oh,
no.
Okay, and this freaks them out.
I guess so.
And, one email will come in, it'll be all about sex. And then the next one will come in, and it'll be about threats. And it's just back and forth all over the place. And I did actually see at one point, one of the articles referred to them as text also. So he may have been sending them straight to their phones.
I wonder how he got their information. Are they like, at this point, we need to call the cops? I mean, they should have been, I think. But I know the cops aren't necessarily going to be able to do anything.
Yeah, they do. They do get in touch with the cops. They tell Kristil to kill herself. Some threaten to kill Daniel. And so they call the cops, and they make their first police report on Halloween.
All right.
Okay. So, the messages are coming at sometimes a rate of a few a day. One of them even shows Daniel getting out of his car at work.
He's this beyond stalker.
Yeah. And Daniel has a government job. Daniel, I said he was a financial analyst, but he's a financial analyst for the state of Colorado. His LinkedIn, the last thing I saw, because that's what I do. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
But the last thing I saw is he was working for the Department of Health, analyzing the public health system and the benefits it has for the state. I mean, these are high-end people.
Yeah.
But to pull up at a state office and photograph somebody getting out of their car, that's kind of a big BFD, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the family makes it through the Thanksgiving holidays. But on December 14th, Daniel calls the police department. He tells the officers that he has not heard from his wife all morning and he cannot reach her.
Wow. Did they have is he just calling in general, or does he have a guy's name that he's dealing with at the police department? Like, I'm going to call Detective Smith. You don't need to tell me who it is, but did he have a direct contact?
A direct contact.
All right.
Because, you know.
He filed a report, nothing.
Nothing.
When I'm Detective Bob, give me a call if you.
Yeah, and I'm going to keep pushing on this case for you.
Yeah, no. Okay. That's sad.
You know, and, and I forgot to tell you, they had also put up security cameras around the property.
Good.
Smart move, right? Okay, so at noon on December 14th, officers respond, and Kristil was found in a pool of blood, deceased.
Where?
At her home.
So her husband's calling from work.
Work.
Okay,
yes.
I thought he was at home.
No, and he's been trying to reach her all day.
And he can't, and they, oh my gosh.
Yeah. So the autopsy showed that she had suffered at least 2 blows to her head that incapacitated her, and a deep stab to her side. Okay.
I'm sure he sexually assaulted her.
No evidence of sexual assault. Unfortunately, the cameras were off.
Why?
Look, and I know that a lot of us have cameras that link to our phones, and we'll get these alerts
and
that our battery's running low.
And the bugs flying in front of the camera, and you start ignoring them after a while.
Go ahead and change the batteries as soon as it tells you.
So that's what happened here.
Okay, so autopsy show. Okay, I read that already. So, of course, the police have a suspect already. Old Jeff.
Jeffrey? Where are you?
So they check him out. There was one problem. Jeff was in Utah where he's been living.
Oh.
And he could not have been in Colorado taking those pictures on the dates that those pictures were taken because he was at work in Utah with records to back it up.
Who's the real Jeffrey?
So cops are like, that's kind of...
That's tight alibi right there.
Yeah, that pretty much seals up. This isn't our guy. So they take another look at the emails, and it turns out they were sent from Daniel's office.
What?
Yep.
Oh my. Okay, so it's either him or somebody he works with. This is crazy. How have I not heard about this?
I know. When I read this case, I was like, oh my God. So right now, Daniel is sitting.
Okay, let me just say this. If they would have looked at this a little bit more seriously, they being the police.
When it was a stalking incident.
Hey, look, what's the IP address this is coming from? Let's just make sure person is who he says he is. And wow. Because this whole time I'm like, they had a 1-year relationship. I know you can find information on anybody, but how did he get her, new address? How did he get her phone? How did he get her husband's phone number? I'm thinking all these things.
Oh, yeah. And maybe that was part of what, cops get a pretty significant lie detector on them. And so maybe they felt like they were being lied to, but they marked it off as they're going for attention. And didn't really see what it was. But they should have looked into it.
Yeah.
Because I'll read as I'm lying or because my effect doesn't show upset when I'm upset.
Oh, okay.
I don't look like
so they would look at you like she did it.
Yeah.
I see.
And I've had problems with talking to cops before. I've had to pull out photographic evidence or whatever because I'm not crying. I'm not upset. I'm not losing my mind after an event. So I'm like, no, this actually did happen.
Yeah. Don't
look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this. Yeah. There is blood.
Yeah.
Or there is a dent. Or you see that empty place? My car used to be there. Okay. So anyhow, he is currently in the Broomfield County Jail. under a $5 million cash-only bond.
So they did arrest
They
Daniel.
arrested him.
Went up to his job. Got him.
Got him.
Okay.
Okay.
What is old Daniel up to?
Well, he is awaiting trial right now because all this just happened in December. And fortunately, it didn't take him very long to figure it out after she was dead. Because by the 16th, when her family had put out her obituary, they didn't have to include him.
Oh, wow.
They were like, we're talking within
So
48 hours.
You're going to tell me what happened?
Well, I mean,
in the 48 hours? How did they figure it out?
His IP address.
That
They
was
found
it?
out he was the one sending everything. So then there's going to be a little more come out at the trial.
Okay.
But there was a little bit of evidence, but you can get away with a little bit of evidence when you live in the home.
Yeah.
But if you're the one sending the threatening emails.
So it absolutely came from his work computer.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God. But
and the security cameras were turned off that day.
At the house?
At the house.
Okay. So they weren't dead batteries.
They were not dead batteries.
Okay.
And, and Jeff, that's not his real name.
What's his real name?
We don't know. They kept it secret.
Oh.
Yeah, his, and that last name that I gave you, what was it, Sonderfield?
Yeah.
Just means nerd in German.
Oh.
Because, I had to throw a little Darth Vader action.
Yeah, there you go.
Give you a normal sounding name. But her family was able to put out an obituary without him in it.
That's good.
He did not get to sit up there and act like a grieving husband at her funeral.
Wow.
Her work, of which she was a project manager. I have no clue what she was earning by the time she passed away. Her work and her family did this wonderful memorial to her, and they're never going to have to look back on that time and say, oh, the murderer was sitting right there crying with us. So I am so glad they walked through that so quickly.
Do we know where the 3 children are?
They're with their grandparents.
Her parents, not
his.
Okay. That's good.
And in fact, normally when you pass away as a woman who's married and has changed her name, your obituary reads first name, last name, and then in parentheses will be your maiden name.
Correct.
They did that with her married name, put that in parentheses.
Oh.
Made her maiden name her firm
true
last name.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was just, I just love whenever the cops don't drag their feet, whenever
That's great.
And I mean, there was physical evidence, but
unfortunately, if they would have looked into it deeper in the beginning, I mean, she could have not been killed.
They could have come to her and said, hey, your husband's doing this to you. And she could have said, I make more money than he does.
Do we know anything about, were they having problems?
They were having some problems, which you would expect with a house of junior high aged kids.
Yeah.
And 2 demanding careers.
Yeah.
And I think his main reason for this was probably the gap in their incomes.
Oh, he had a tiny penis.
Yes, he did.
Wow.
Yeah, because he's working.
Well, Daniel, if you hear this from jail, you can eat a bag of dicks.
You and your tiny, tiny penis.
Yes. Wow.
Okay, but I did bring you another little short story.
Okay.
Yeah, because I knew that one was going to go by so fast.
Yeah.
But that was a crazy story.
So maybe in the future, once this goes to trial, if you can follow it and give us some more.
I'm going to follow it, but I have a feeling it's going to be a pretty cut and dry trial.
Is it?
I mean.
But if there's any kind of little bit of update in terms of this is what nailed him.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the IP address, but I feel like the defense could argue someone had his work, used his computer.
And I actually also feel like he might have cracked.
Oh, he might have admitted it. Okay.
Yeah, because he has a weak chin.
All right.
Yeah.
Poor Kristil.
Yeah. And I'm going to have to help you on that spelling because it's a weird one.
Yeah. Grim.
Oh, even the Kristil's funny.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So this is Cody Allen Wade was very recently sentenced to 85 years in prison. He's a 35-year-old man in Indiana, and he was spending the day at a family cookout.
Barbecue.
Yeah.
Or a crawfish bowl.
It's Indiana. It's going to be...
What do they call them? Low country boils up there.
I don't even know if they do that. I mean, I have never heard Indiana get a lot of praise for their cuisine.
Or their seafood boils.
Okay. So he's out at a cookout with his family, and he gets fired up about his mom and her boyfriend disrespecting him.
Is he drinking? Do we know?
I'm sure he was.
All right. We'll just make that assumption.
Yeah. This guy looks like...
He was drinking.
He not only looks like he was drinking, but he looks like he owns a 1996 Camaro on cinder blocks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Farmer's tan and everything.
Gotcha.
Okay, so he's getting pissed off. He's walking to his house from his family member's house. Calls his mama and starts yelling at her. Gets off the phone with her, goes in the house, starts fighting with her and her boyfriend. Stabs her boyfriend to death in front of his mama.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it was horrible. It was bloody. It was disgusting. And he's got an eyewitness. You know, his mom's right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so he gets arrested. But as we have seen in these trashy circumstances,
Mom isn't gonna...
Mom will eventually shut her mouth. No matter how mad she is at you at the moment, she will shut her mouth.
Yeah.
Except for Carl.
Cody?
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Cody Allen Wade.
Yes.
And I don't know. I've never heard him referred to anything other than by all three names.
That happens. I know when I'm doing research, it happens a lot.
Yeah. When you got somebody that's just that weird.
3 names is yeah.
Yeah. So Cody Allen Wade had forgot to hit end on his phone call.
Oh no.
So everything, I guess he pocket dialed his mom back or something.
This is
the entire murder is permanently recorded.
This is a stupid criminals. Wow.
Yeah.
No need to try to say you didn't do it.
Between that, the 12 previous convictions
For assault.
Arson, theft, all of that. Yeah. He'll get out of jail whenever he's 119.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, with 3 names, he might live that long.
He might.
Cody Allen Wade.
Yeah, pick one lifetime per name.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Name. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
All right.
But I thought the two tech things kind of blend together. They both got
tech solved by technology.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I do have some weird laws in the U.S. Okay. Cheat days in Mississippi. That's what the title is.
Okay.
In Mississippi, a 2013, which is not that long ago.
No.
This isn't like the 1800s. And I haven't read these, so they're coming fresh to me.
You're getting real time, a cold read.
Yes. In Mississippi, a 2013 ruling held that it was not possible to enforce restaurants having to disclose the nutritional aspects of their offerings, which is the case in many states. Mm-hmm. This forms part of the anti-Bloomberg bill, which also stops those restaurants from needing to limit their portion sizes. Perhaps not the best state to visit if you're on a diet.
Okay.
So
most states have done away with that Bloomberg bill.
I mean, it's like, I will say this. When you go to a restaurant, I feel like they do give you way more. Like, I always take some food home with me. Mm-hmm. So, but, I mean, do we need to give more food? Is that what this is saying? This
is saying that they don't have to limit their portion sizes. They can do what they want as a restaurant, as a business owner. I can sell you what the fuck I want, and you can buy it if you want.
And that's America right there.
And it's saying that a restaurant doesn't have to
say this has 1,000 calories per bite.
And try to keep it like that. Keep the sodium content the same. When you're cooking, it's not going to be the same every time.
Who really uses that? I mean, maybe some people do.
Yeah.
But who really? I mean, if your diet is that restrictive, you should probably be eating at home and preparing your own food.
Exactly.
All right. This is no seaweed collection in New Hampshire. I guess they're not going to have any sushi there. Okay. In New Hampshire, it is illegal to collect seaweed from public beaches. At night specifically, do whatever you want during the daytime hours. So don't collect it at night.
Why?
This was introduced as a result of seaweed's relatively lucrative resale value somewhere in this, I guess, in New Hampshire. But why can you collect it during the day but not at night? Is seaweed different at night? Or is there a different type of seaweed that washes up at night than during the day?
Maybe it mostly washes up at night and they don't want you to be the early bird?
I don't know. That's weird. Okay. No hunting in cemeteries.
Okay, I'm all for this one.
But you're probably thinking deer, whatever else you pick, wild pigs, whatever else you hunt. In Oregon, the case of a hunter harvesting animals on cemetery ground led to a law banning such activities on sacred soil. So yeah, it is animals.
Yeah.
I was expecting it to be like no going in grave digging kind of thing. This weird law in the U.S. feels morally obvious to many, but you have to wonder about the extent to which most members of the community would have this specific knowledge to be able to throw the book at someone. I guess. I mean, it does seem obvious that you wouldn't hunt in a cemetery at night.
I'm wondering about who raised such a stink on a cemetery that they had to go through the expense of making that law.
I mean, it has to be like, I know around here, you can have a cemetery very close to your house. Like some neighborhoods, when they're very rural.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they would have the cemetery long before they would start building houses. And
Absolutely.
they just keep it there. So maybe for that reason, it's too close to.
Maybe. But I mean, I know that that you shouldn't do it. I mean, it's a moral thing.
Yeah.
Don't go stand on my mama's grave and,
shooting your gun up in the air like Yosemite
I don't
Sam.
need that. But because it's the thing though, it takes a lot of time, money, and effort to make a law. So somebody had to screw up in such a way to do that. Just like I think cannibalism is legal in 48 states.
No shit.
Yeah, because it's just something that people don't do.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
There's no need to make a law.
Gotcha. I got what you're saying. Yeah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. Plus,
Okay.
there's other things you can get them on. Most of the time, if you're a cannibal, you're also a murderer.
Yes. You got to keep that
They
secret.
kind of go to hand in hand.
You cannot eat a person without killing them first. Okay. Next, Netflix password sharing, not in Tennessee.
Okay.
Netflix has been in the news recently for attempting to clamp down on password sharing, which naturally for them eats into profits. Okay. In 2011, a specific law had already been passed in Tennessee banning this exact action. So I know at one point in time that's just the law. You can't share Netflix passwords, which is not, I don't think that's super weird, because I know at one point in time, we've had Netflix for a very long time.
Yeah, I got the DVDs in the mail.
Yeah. At one point in time, we seemed to, like every 6 months, we seemed to get hacked. And you could always tell because the people would start changing our profile pictures. Our names would still be there, but they would change our profile pictures. There was stuff on our continue watching list that we hadn't been watching. So we'd change our password, and then you got to go through changing it on all your devices and blah, blah, blah. So, all right, this is the last one I'm going to read.
Okay.
IQ test for voting. It's a title. The state of New Mexico bans, this is a quote, idiots, end quote, from voting in elections. I mean, do you make what?
That hurts.
Do you have to carry a card around with you now showing your IQ in order to vote in New Mexico? How do they enforce this?
I don't know. I know that like one of the reasons why you can't, like in the South, there will never be a test to discover if you are smart enough to vote, because we did that in order to keep people of color from voting.
Yes, that's right. But now everybody can vote.
Now everybody can vote.
So we can't even rule out idiots.
So the fact that there's an idiot test.
Idiot is the word they used in the law.
New Mexico, like, makes my heart, like, my stomach's upset. That, oh my gosh.
I feel like they probably don't enforce it. I don't know how they could. Really.
I don't either. And it's so easy to, like, skew a test.
I don't think they could enforce it. It's not possible.
Mm.
Thank you so much for your stories today.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'm so glad you came, even though it's a weird day for us to be podcasting.
That's okay. That's okay. All days are weird right now. It's summertime. The sun never goes down.
That's right.
So
it's busy all the time.
Yeah.
Chandler, thank you so much for camera switching. He's shaking his head. He will be here for the summer, so we should have all of our episodes, barring any catastrophes, on YouTube this summer. And anything else? Any shout outs? Thank you, Patreon members. And if you want to be like Dave and Chris, you can go to Patreon, Patreon/grits, and you can help support the show. And we appreciate that. But even if you can't, like us, share us, tell your friends, tell your mom and them.
Yeah, there's no better thing than you actually telling the next guy, hey,
yes,
these ladies make me laugh.
Yes.
Or they tell some gross stories.
That's both are true to their yes. All right. Anything else?
That's all.
Okay. We love y'all. Tell your mom and them to listen, and we're going to let Zydeco Mike take us out.